Hello guys, and welcome back to the Perfect Timepiece channel. It has been a while since I made a video, so I really appreciate your patience bearing with me. Today we are going to be talking about the top five $500 dress watches. So we're going to be looking at men's dress watches under that $500 mark. If you're watching this and you're looking for a Christmas gift or something, then definitely check out the links down in the description below to buy any of these pieces. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, Josh, you're only 20. What qualifies you to talk about the best $500 watches? Well, I've actually spent just about 6 months curating my own collection and experimenting with all different types of pieces. If you've watched my collection videos on this channel, you'll know that I pretty much only have really purchased dress watches in the last year or so. So I do have a lot of experience with many of the pieces on this list, and I'm actually wearing one of the watches on this list today. So I am going to jump right on into it. That's enough of an introduction. I will be putting up pictures of all of these pieces as I go, and there will be links, as I said before, in the description down below to purchase any or all of these pieces. So up first we have the $300 Orient Bambino. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. This is a very, very interesting piece. It can be a little bit hard to determine whether or not the watch is automatic or quartz if you're looking on Amazon, so the link in the description down below links you to the automatic piece. Now, if you're new to watches, automatic means that the watch has a rotor inside of it that actually winds the watch, and if you don't wear it for like 48 hours, it'll actually stop ticking. But you do generally want an automatic watch over, say, a quartz watch, just because it is a little bit more prestigious. So the Orient Bambino is a very, very multifaceted watch. There is no see-through caseback, there is no exhibition caseback, but it does come in many different colors with many different hand designs and hour marker designs. So really, this is a watch that could fit pretty much anybody's style, depending on the one you get. So definitely check out the link to Amazon in the description down below, and you can find one that perfectly suits you. Hopefully the images that I put up are kind of interesting, and hopefully it draws your attention to the piece. But honestly, if a friend came to me and said, hey, I have $500 and I want to buy a watch, which one would you recommend? Honestly, I probably wouldn't go for the Orient Bambino, because I do think, as you get closer to that $500 mark, you really do start to get better and better quality, more bang for your buck. And that has been my experience personally. Some people might disagree with me, but I'm going to jump right on into the next few pieces, which I think are all outstanding, except for maybe the last one, and you guys can debate with me in the comment section down below. So up next we have the Seiko Sarve 033. Now the pictures that you're seeing on screen are actually taken, a few of them have been taken by me. That is because I own this watch. I actually have done a review of this watch on the channel, and I really, really love it. I didn't like it in the beginning when I purchased it, but it is something that has grown on me. It is a little bit smaller in size compared to most modern watches, but I think that that actually works in its favor. It's very conservatively designed, and I think that it will age well throughout the years. And this watch definitely has the inner workings, the movement, so that it could last decades and maybe even be passed down to your children, which, I'm only 20, I'm not really thinking about kids right now, but I am thinking about keeping my watches for a long time and keeping them in the family, which is somewhat important to me. I'm not sure I've ever really shared that on the channel, but it is an important facet to me. As I said, this watch does have a see-through case back, which I think is pretty great. And this actually contains one of Seiko's best lower end movements. You can pay up to $1,000 and still get the same movement in a different watch. If you're not familiar, let's say watches are like cars and each car has a different engine, right? So Seiko has a few lower end movements or the engine of the watch, and they put it into a whole bunch of differently priced and differently marketed watches. So I do think that this is one of the lowest price points that you can get such a quality movement at. Let me move on so this video isn't forever. I don't want to waste your time. So up next we have the Tissot Visa Date. This watch is actually Swiss. This is the first Swiss watch that we have covered in this video today. The Orient is, I believe, Japanese, and the Seiko is also Japanese. Now, the Tissot is Swiss, and a lot of watch collectors are a little bit snobby when it comes to Swiss pieces. I know I personally was when I got started collecting, but now my opinion has changed. You'll get a lot of respect for fellow watch enthusiasts for owning a Swiss piece. There's a very high quality in their manufacture, but I'm getting totally sidetracked. Let me actually talk about the Tissot Visa Date. So Tissot is actually a member of the Swatch Group, which is a large group of watch manufacturers. They also have Omega and a few others. They have Swatch, for example. But Tissot is kind of their mid to lower tier lines, and it is actually kind of hard to find an automatic Tissot watch under $500 and even under like $1,000 new. So I do think that the Tissot Visa Date, considering it has that standard Swiss ETA 2824 movement, with the day and date complication, with a very, very balanced dial and that kind of retro logo, that old 60s style Tissot logo with a pretty nice leather band, I do think it is really awesome value for your money. Now, that being said, I have had some experience with the Tissot clasps. This watch has a deployant clasp, and they can be a little bit uncomfortable, so that is something to watch out for. That being said, I still think the watch is an incredible value for your money, and I would actually really love to have one of these pieces. I debated getting it for months and months now, and I might treat myself to it one day. But up next, we have a watch that is just under to just over the $500 price limit that I put on this video. So this watch here is the Hamilton Jazzmaster Viewmatic. Now they have them where they have different indices at the hour marker positions, and some of them cost more. You know, you're looking at 530 versus like 490. That's kind of the range that you're looking at for this piece. Anyway, that's kind of the range that you're looking at for this piece. I do think that it is worth the money. Hamilton has a really good reputation in the watch community. I would actually say probably better than Tissot, and I personally like Hamilton better than Tissot, which is actually why I picked up this watch rather than the Visa Date. But it does have the exact same movement as the Visa Date, and it actually doesn't have a day function, you know, compared to the Visa Date. But I do think that Hamilton's level of detail and level of finishing with the piece is almost unrivaled in the under $500 price bracket. So if you are willing to kind of go a little bit above your budget, I know you guys are gonna hate me for pushing your budgets. I always do this with my buying guides. I do think that it will be worth it, and I do think it will be a very valuable addition to your collection. One last note, I really love this watch. Hopefully you guys can see that. I don't know what's in frame anymore. But it does have a very wonderful leather strap. It is a little bit stiff, but the stitching on it is outstanding, and it's good to see that Hamilton didn't cut corners with their clasps, which is something that a lot of watch manufacturers do to save money. All right, so we are out to our last recommendation, and this one might be a little bit controversial. The company who makes this watch is a Swiss company. They were recently acquired because they were going through a whole bunch of hard financial troubles. So longtime viewers of my channel will know what company that I'm talking about. This is Fredrik Constant, and the watch that I'm going to recommend has a really long serial number, and that's kind of how Fredrik Constant chooses to market their watches. They don't give them like individual names, so I'm just going to read it out to you. The FC303 S5B6. Now this one is at Amazon right now for just under $500. I do think it is an amazing looking piece, probably the most sophisticated and refined watch that I've seen under $500. And if my memory serves me correctly, this watch was actually around $750 to $600 to $750, depending on where you looked, just a few months ago. So I do believe that the financial troubles that Fredrik Constant has gone through recently have made the price of this piece drop dramatically. Now, that may hurt resale value if you do choose to sell this piece in the future, but I do think that it is an incredibly beautiful and sophisticated watch that is probably worth its price. I have had some prior experience with Fredrik Constant watches, and in my experience, everything is just spot on. The level of finishing is the highest that I personally have seen in a watch that I've owned. It is very, very close to higher tiered brands like Omega and all of that stuff. Now, Fredrik Constant kind of gets into hot water sometimes because they plate their stainless steel watches in gold. So rather than having like a real gold watch, you have a plated gold watch. Some people don't like that, some people do. Some people think it's disingenuous. Personally, I don't really like it, but this watch that I'm recommending actually doesn't even fall into that category because it is stainless steel. Now, it doesn't have an exhibition or a see-through case back, but I do think that it is worth it. Honestly, I think it's worth not having that. Personally, you know, your watch is on your wrist, like this has an exhibition case back, and I think I've looked at the movement inside of here maybe once or twice in the last like 2 months. So is it worth it? Probably. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up my complete and comprehensive review of the best watches under $500. I'm throwing my script away there. I really do appreciate all of you that are watching this video, and I hope that it was helpful for you, whether you're looking for a new dress watch or you're looking for a watch for somebody this holiday season. My name is Josh. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.